Hello.
Hello, David.
What's going on, man? Sorry about all the missing calls and stuff like that, man. I was just a busy freaking man today, man. Sorry about that.
I totally understand. Hey, right now, you gotta be a busy freaking man because you're coming up on a big title defense in just a week, so you gotta be getting ready for the final push right now.
Oh, yeah, man. I'm just focused more on, staying sharp and doing what I gotta do so I can execute inside that stage, man. That's what I'm really focused on, Everything else is very on top,
I'll let you know, I talked to Big Cat Clifford Starks a few days back, and I asked him about the long time between this current middleweight title defense and your last defense, and his take on it was, before him, there just wasn't anybody worthy to challenge you. What do you think about that?
Hey, man, I don't know. I didn't really, at the time when I was going for my campaign at 205, he was paying attention to me. I really wasn't paying attention to him, So maybe he was checking out the roster a little harder than I expected, or maybe that I was. I think that's the last guy that I thought you should call me. If he's not talking about that, if he's just talking about within the last year, if there hasn't been anybody to challenge me because I didn't fight the whole 2015 at 185. So yeah, I think that he's right. They had to get somebody that had to step up, and they had to go through the pecking order to see who was going to be able to fight the champ. He fought at 205 a couple of times, and he beat those guys. And he fought at 185 and beat a guy, Krasimir Ladonov, who fought and was winning, had a winning streak on WSOF, and who seemed like to be the next guy for me to fight. But Clifford knocked him off, you know what I'm saying? And I guess he's right with that. I guess he's totally right. I got no adversity with what he said right there,
Well, you mentioned Mladenov. That was an impressive win on his part because, like you mentioned, Mladenov has been on a winning streak. But you're both on winning streaks now. You're on a 7-fight winning streak. He's on a fight winning streak. So obviously, come Saturday night, somebody's streak's coming to an end.
His streak is definitely coming to an end. I think he knows. If he doesn't know, then I'll have to prove it in front of the world. And I don't have a problem doing that. His last performance with Krasimir Ladonov, I got a chance to look at it. And, I really wasn't impressed. Krasimir wasn't feeling well. He's a little guy. He really shouldn't be fighting at 85, in my opinion. He's a tough Bulgarian guy. I got nothing but respect for him. I'm not saying that he's a shitty fighter. Just think that he's a little bit too small for 85, and that, worked out for Clifford really good. Because Clifford's not a big 85er, you know what I mean? And, he was able to beat down on a man with T-Rex arms, a shorter man. But now he's the smaller man, man. Now he's the shorter man. He's got the shorter reach, and that I'm going to be doing a lot of that to him. I'm going to fight him like he's a little guy. I'm not going to go in there with all of this big respect, for him and fight him that way and turn him into something that he's not. I know exactly what he is, and I know exactly what he's in front of me for, and I got to stomp the shit out of him. And that's the bottom line with that. And I didn't forget what I said on September 18th. I told everybody, I told the world that I was going to knock him out. And I meant that. You know what I mean? So I don't care who's worthy, who's not worthy. It's just time to go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? It's time to go to sleep. Let's put him to sleep.
Glad you brought up the size differential because I did mention that to him, that he was much bigger and had a much longer reach than Mladenov. And as you said, that advantage goes away now in this fight. But you got comfortable at 205. You were doing very well at 205. You won the light heavyweight title at 205. So is there a disadvantage for you having to go back to 185 now?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm a consummate professional. Weight has absolutely nothing to do with it. I had more than enough time to prepare for the weight cut and make sure that I'm in optimal shape for 185. I don't have any injuries coming into this fight. I feel like a goddamn war machine. I feel like just a complete wrecking machine. I'm not going to get tired out there. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to back up. I'm going to come right forward, and I'm going to put an immense amount of pressure on him. Then I'm going to do everything inside the cage, and I ain't got nothing to worry about. So the weight cut is not a big deal, man. The weight cut that I had to go through, right now I'm sitting real pretty with my weight, man, and I'm cut the hell up, man, so it's that has nothing to do with it. It's crazy that somebody would even say something like that there's going to be a big difference or a big deal to come down in weight. Weight has nothing to do with anything. I'm here, I'm ready, I'm going to be 185 when we step on the scale. And I'm going to be a goddamn wrecking machine come fight night,
I did mention to Clifford Starks that you were so strong in the fourth round that you got the TKO on Okami. So obviously, weight cutting wasn't affecting you at that point either, because you were just as strong in the fourth round as you were in the first.
That's very true. That's very true, man. Not only that, but what a lot of people don't understand is that in the first round of that fight, I tore my right bicep. My bicep was completely torn from my bone. I went into special surgery. Maybe 4 or 5 days right after that fight, my bicep was, my arm couldn't even extend. My bicep was completely like drifted off to the inside of the arm. And I had to go in for surgery, and that was like a 3-month recovery I had to do for that fight. But that first round of that fight, the first punch that I threw, I popped and just tore my entire bicep. Done. And that's the same arm that I knocked that kid out with, you know?
That's mental toughness right there. That just shows that you were not going to quit in the fight no matter what.
There's no way. There was no way that would happen. A lot of people don't know the adversities that I've been fighting with all the way leading up to me gaining both of these championships. And I don't like to I'm not one to talk about those kind of things, but a few people told me that I'd be doing myself a PR disservice if I don't mention those things. Because ever since 2012, I've pretty much been out there fighting with a jab, wrestling skills, some kicks, and jiu-jitsu finishes. I haven't been able to show people what I can really do. I'm a fast car, man, you know? It's like, and it's different now because it's like, I believe in myself, man. I completely believe in myself. I completely believe in my abilities because I do it on a daily basis with the best people, the best athletes in the world. And, I completely believe in myself. So it's a completely different branch out there fighting the way I was fighting maybe like in 2010 or my UFC stint and stuff like that, where I wasn't really, you know, my confidence had gotten shaken up a little bit. Man, I'm going out there 100% confident. You know, it's just a different ball game now, you know? Bad time to fight me, man. Bad time. It's not a great time.
Well, yeah, I don't know if there's been a good time in the last few years because, like you said, you've been a goddamn wrecking machine. But since you mentioned UFC, I want to draw an interesting parallel here because we saw Conor McGregor try to become a 2-weight class champion, and he found out that was a tall mountain to climb. You are currently the only person I know that is a 2-weight class champion.
That's correct. That's correct. I mean, I don't knock Conor for what he's got to accomplish. I mean, Conor's like, he's great for the sport. You know what I mean? I personally like him, even though he talks a bit much and stuff like that, but that's how you sell, man, you know? So, you know, he tried to do something and he's pulling a bank job right now, you know? He's making money. I can't say anything bad about the guy. He went up there, he went to a bigger weight class. They put him up against a guy that maybe wasn't going to they put him up against a guy that on paper isn't going to be like, you know, going to produce that blunt force trauma. But what Nate Diaz does is he strings together punches just like his older brother, and he's got dangerous jiu-jitsu, and people like underrate that. So, like, you know, he went out there and he lost to that. And I think that he'll go back to the drawing board and get better. But, yeah, I'm the only guy right now, man. I'm the only guy. I got a big target on my back. There's a lot of other fighters. It's a fad now. It's a fad. You know, a lot of fighters mention becoming a 2-time champion in their interviews. I hear it. It's a fad. It's a great thing that I can be one of the guys beside Dan Henderson that, like, you know, keep that thing going. You know, it's like, you know, setting those kind of trends. It's a great thing.
That's right, taking it back to the Pride days when Dan Henderson pulled off the same feat. But one other thing I take away from that Conor fight is in his post-fight interview, he kept saying over and over again that he wasn't efficient with his energy. Now, as somebody that's a 2-weight class champion, how do you be efficient with your energy? What's your strategy in there?
Well, it's different. You can't go out there and like with me with Clifford. Obviously, I'm telling everybody I want to knock him out. I can't just go out there and just try to run and gun for this knockout because he's a guy. He's a shorter man. He's going to try to get underneath. He's going to try to stifle. He's going to try to go out there and pick it up. You know what I mean? So you got to be calculated with the violence. You got to put it like a focal point. You got to fight your game. You got to keep good pressure on the person and keep forward momentum, but you can't just go out there running and gunning. You don't want to do that because it doesn't matter how good of a shape you're in, you're going to blow your load. You know what I'm saying? What you want to do is you want to not give the guy any space. You don't want to give him any mouse hole to run into. You don't want to give him anywhere to go, and it's going to force the guy to make mistakes. That's how you do it. You know what I mean? You can't go out there and just look to just throw everything you got in the kitchen sink because once you're done, you're done. And that's the time where you can get flipped and you go oops upside the head and then you're done. And that's what happened to him, you know. Any man can get knocked out much easily if he's fatigued. A fatigued opponent is primed for being knocked the freak out because he's tired. His nerves are shot. His body is shot. That's the time to touch him on the chin. He's going to go down. But if a guy's nice and fresh, you can hit him on the chin. He'll ride the pressure and he'll keep coming at you. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be real careful on how you do that, you know?
With knockouts, I'm not even worried about you getting knocked out from fatigue because the only time you ever got knocked out was from a slam.
That is correct. That is correct.
So, yeah.
That is correct. The only time that I suffered a knockout was from a slam, and that was because we thought we were losing the fight, which I think I was on takedowns at the time. And I went out and I pulled a Hail Mary. It just backfired against me. It was one of those things, man. It's not like I was manhandled and picked up like I just raw energy and then just dumped on my dome. You know what I mean? I facilitated that to happen to myself. And it was a dumb move. I learned from it, and you know that was the first and only time I've ever jumped the triangle. I don't do things like that anymore. I was a completely different guy. I don't even know who that was anymore.
Right.
Can't identify with that David anymore.
Well, yeah. I mean, you legitimately can't. That's 6 years ago now, so you're definitely not the same guy you were then.
No, I'm the same person, but just changed. I changed. I evolved. So different now, you know. There's still a lot of skeptics out there that they're kind of like paying attention to me. They're like, man, this guy's done some big stuff. But, you know, there's shades of that old branch in there that they're just waiting for that one thing to happen to be like, you see, I told you so. It'll never happen again, man. It's just a completely different car. It's got a completely different engine and everything. It's just a well-oiled machine now. Everything is different, man. The mindset's different. The skill set's different. Yeah, everything's different.
Well, you talked about how people are waiting to see you fall. They're waiting for that downfall. But is that a driving factor for you? Is that motivating that people are out there thinking, man, sooner or later it's going to catch up to him?
I mean, they're right. You know, sooner or later it catches up with everybody, you know. But the thing is that, you know, now it's not my time, and Clifford is not that guy. You know, he's not that guy to dethrone me. He's not that guy to stop what I need to be doing in the future and more goals that I need to accomplish. I can't, it happens, you know what I mean? And I can't sit there and wait for, like when Anderson Silva was on his tear. Okay, he started tearing for the UFC when he was in his mid-30s. He came over from Pride. Now, I knew that a guy like that is going to be dangerous no matter what because of his style. He's perfected a striking art, you know, and he's very efficient at it. He doesn't use a whole lot of energy looking to grapple you and stuff like that, but eventually he's going to run into these tough, hard-nosed wrestlers, and he doesn't really do well with that. So I knew eventually that was going to catch up with him, but when it did, I wasn't one of those guys that was like, you see, I told you, you know? Because what he did was freaking great. He went out there with striking and jiu-jitsu and beat the living shit out of everybody. You know, that's like two skill sets. He wasn't a wrestler. He didn't have good throws and good takedowns, inside leg trips, different intricate styles to take you down. His takedowns consisted of touching you on the chin and dropping you on your ass, you know? And, you know, so people can say what they want, and people are always going to say, you see, I told you so, but I don't really pay attention to that. The thing that I want more so than anything is just to keep winning. To keep winning, keep dominating these fights, keep annihilating these opponents, keep doing what I'm supposed to do with the guys that they put in front of me, crush the hell out of them, you know, and just put fear into the rest of the division and have an aura of invincibility about me, you know? If a guy's fighting me, I want him to know, shit, Branch is freaking dangerous, you know? This is a guy that doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He's super disciplined. He takes his craft very, very seriously. He doesn't have much weakness. I don't think he has, I don't have any weaknesses, I don't believe. He can wrestle, he can box, he can kickbox. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. He has excellent cardio, excellent cage awareness, excellent problem-solving skills, good mental toughness. You know, and he always comes in shape. That's a tough-ass dude to fight.
Talked about putting fear into the division. There's two divisions you put that fear into right now. So we already know Clifford Starks is the guy you're putting that fear in at middleweight. But who's next at light heavyweight?
Well, I mean, I don't want to look past Clifford. That's not something that I do. Whoever the World Series fighter deems necessary to put in front of me, I know that me and Vinny Magalev had like some words and stuff like that. And he likes to go back and forth on Twitter. I'm not really about stuff like that. If we're gonna fight, man. That's it. You know? But whoever the World Series is fighting puts me in front of for 205, I don't think that I'm going to stay at that weight. I don't think that that's a weight that I'm going to, I'm just going to keep at. But there's a few exceptions that I'll make for that rule. I'll stick around a little longer for a few guys at that division,
What's the origin of the beef with Magalhães anyway? I mean, he's got one win in World Series of Fighting. It doesn't seem like he's got track record to be calling anybody out just yet.
I mean, he's just jockeying for position. He's doing what he's supposed to do. That's the nature of the beef. He's trying to cut the line and rightfully so. He's got a name. He's an ex-UFC guy. But there's guys in the division that have fought more than him. But if the World Series of Fighting says that that's the guy, then he's the next guy on the chopping block, man. That's the next guy. It doesn't matter who it is,
Fair enough. Now,
right now, I can't really. It's going to be him. It's going to be somebody else. I know he's fighting on the same card that I'm fighting on. So, hopefully I wish him the best. I wish him the best of luck. But with that being said, right now I'm really focused on Clifford Starks right now because he's trying to take something that I got that I worked so hard to get. He's trying to take something away from me. He's trying to take something away from my family, and I'll never let that happen. I'll never let it happen.
You're not looking past Clifford Starks in any way, so let me just get your bottom line on, you said you're going to go out there, dominate him, crush him, hopefully even knock him out, but what do you think his game plan is? What do you think his approach is? Is he going to try to knock you out? Is he going to turn it into a wrestling fight? What's he going to do out there?
You know what he's going to try to do. Clifford is a never was. Not even a has been. I don't think that anybody tough that he's ever fought. He fought Ed Herman, and you lost, and went out and stunk it up, and then he got knocked out by the Cuban, who's a dangerous motherfucker for anybody. So I can't really gauge this guy, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that the guys that he beat weren't tough, and not trying to discredit those athletes. But when it came to like fighters that are well known, he lost. He lost, man, So people tend to forget that. Clifford likes to try to use a kind of like a Mike Tyson boxing style. He likes to circle his opponents all to his right hand. All right. He's got a coach that thinks he's a little hip. You know what I mean? It makes him feel good to have a little lingo going with Clifford. They got maybe a good connection going. And if he gets in trouble, he takes a shot. He takes a double leg. He looks for a shot. He's going to go to his instincts. His instincts aren't to stand there and bang. His instincts aren't to look for a submission. I mean, he's going to be just on what I've seen from Clifford Starks. He's not the kind of guy that's going to start spinning around for arm bars and triangles and stuff like that. He's a wrestler. So he's going to look for arm submissions, anything that consists of key locks, kimuras, any kind of arm or neck strangulations or anything like that that just consists of him using his arms. Those are the things that he's going to be, using. So he's limited in his ability to be able to finish with submissions. Okay, he's not the slickest wrestler. Okay, so his chain wrestling I'm not really that impressed with his chain wrestling, even though he's a strong guy. He strikes me as the kind of guy that's strong in weird positions. He's a short guy, which means that he's going to have a strong core, strong back. I fought guys like him before. I trained with guys like him. That's going to be his game plan. He's going to go out there and try to box, and he's going to get lit the hell up. And then once he feels that, then he's going to try to switch the game into something else. That's what's going to happen. I'm going to use his aggression against him. I'm going to use my timing, my speed, my superior boxing ability, my superior fight IQ against him. And it's not personal for me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know I'm sounding emotional right now because I just had a long day and I'm like so excited for the fight. But I'm going in there like I always do, like a serial killer, man. I'm just like a hitman. It's not personal. I'm just coming in here to beat your ass, and that's it,
I totally respect that. It's business. You got to go in there and finish the fight, get the win. It's no animosity. You just got to go out there and do it. But you did mention
absolutely not.
You did mention the Cuban, he being Yoel Romero, and I wonder, can we give Clifford Starks a pass for that, considering Romero has been shown to be a guy who juices?
No, man, no, because I've fought plenty of guys. I've fought guys that juice. You know what I'm saying? That's the nature of the beast. We're in this sport. Some guys get away with it. Some guys get caught. The thing is that people can be beaten whether they do juice or not. I've beaten guys on the juice. And I've lost to guys who have been popped for juice. So did I discredit them for their victory over me or not? Or whether I could have beat them or not? No, he lost, man. He went out there and got knocked the fuck out, man. That's what the hell happened to him. And I'm not going to sit there and window wipe this thing and make it seem good for him because he lost, man. He went out there, got nervous with the Cubans movement, and then he went and shot in for a shot, and he got knocked out.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what happened to him. Whether it had something to do with steroids or not, I'm not going to sit there and discredit that man, Yoel Romero, because you still got to work hard. And what he did out there is he blazed him, man. He blazed him. He got caught. And that was that.
That's true. He did smoke him in that fight. There's no way around it.
He whooped that ass. You know what I'm saying? He beat the hell out of Clifford Starks. He knocked him out. And that's that.
That's true.
And that's serious. There's nothing else to add with that. There's no attachment. He knocked him out. That was it, you know? So I'm saying that's his track record. Anytime he goes in there against somebody who's tough, he's lost. You know, anybody that's somebody that's like super dangerous, you know, or well known, he's lost. That's the track record of the guy that I'm fighting. That's the guy that's trying to take my belt. There's nothing more to his story.
I grant you that. And I want to say, just for the record here, that Romero could be completely vindicated. He could turn out to be a tainted supplement. He could win his appeal. We don't know. We'll move on from that topic. I just wanted to put that on the record, that we don't know his innocence or guilt. And I don't know, you don't know, nobody knows. We'll find out. Anyway, back to Clifford Starks and this fight. World Series Fighting 30, April 2nd, Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Las Vegas. When do you make your trip out there?
I'm leaving on Tuesday. I believe I got to do some media stuff on Wednesday morning, but it got me flying out Tuesday, so that's good for me. I'll just start getting used to the crazy Las Vegas and stuff like that. You guys know how it is out there. It's kind of cray-cray. You know, it'll be good for me to go out there and just breathe it all in and breathe all the machines, the casinos, all the gamblers, and just start taking it all in. It's time for business. It's time for business. So the sooner the better.
You breathe it all in from the moment you hit that airport. You walk off the plane and there's slot machines right there.
What I'm talking about.
It's gambling capital. Yeah, you can't get away from it. You go to a convenience store in that town, there's gambling. It's everywhere.
Yep, that's it.
Well, I'm sure right now people are listening to this and placing big money bets on you, so hopefully they're going to cash in come Saturday.
We'll see, man. They better put their money on me. That's I think that's what they call a sure shot, you know. But I don't know, you know. There's always upsets in the apple cart, but you know, I can assure anybody that is putting any bets on me or anything like that I've done everything in my power to tilt this fight and me being victorious and tilting that in my favor heavily. I've been doing everything in my power to do that. I have not taken Clifford Starks lightly, even though I'm talking about him in a certain kind of way. I'm just putting him into perspective as a fighter. I respect him as a man. I respect him as a fighter. You know, and he's dangerous just like anybody else that goes out there and signs a contract and wraps their hands and puts on those 4-ounce gloves. All it takes is one shot to the jaw and anybody can go down. You know what I mean? So I never forget that, you know?
Right. You've got that respect. You know it's possible, but you're feeling strong and confident, and it looks like things are going to go your way if they continue with that confidence, because it's paid off for you in 7 fights, so why not be the 8th in a row?
Oh, definitely, man. More to come. You know, this one I'm definitely looking forward to.
All right. Well, let's get out some plugs, social media, and sponsors and whatnot before I let you go.
My sponsors are Roddy Rogers, Virtue Stream, Vaporfy, Fuji Sports. I got a new mouthpiece company. Those guys will be on my banner. Let me thank some of the people just like really quick that really like help make a difference in my life and make a difference in me mentally, my training ability. The St. Ledger twins, Harry and Gary, 2 international judo players. Gerard Rinaldi, his brother Danny Rinaldi, 2 Jersey wrestlers. Very, very decorated wrestlers. Steve Bosak, a national champion out of Cornell University. Zach Hammond, also a wrestling stud out of Cornell University. Hudson Taylor, who was a 3-time All-American out of the University of Maryland. My boxing coach, Leonard Wilson, who's made a huge difference in my mental aspect of my game. Martin Conroy, who's always, helping me focus on the business aspect of certain things. All of my training partners at Enzo Gracie Academy. David Esposito, my wrestling coach. Jamal Patterson, my all-around head coach, who's the owner of his own jiu-jitsu academy. Just guys like Rafael Natal Sapo, Zal Zepparino me and him have been helping each other get ready for this fight. So everybody at Enzo's, I'd like to give a big, warm thank you to those are all my brothers there. And, you know, I'm just ready to go. I'd like to thank those guys, you know, just say thank you to all of those guys. Those guys are the guys behind the scenes that make it happen. They don't get a spot on my shorts in the banner, so I'll take this radio time now and just give those guys a big thanks.
Well, then my last question before I let you go tonight, since you brought up the team and brought up everybody on the team, how excited were they all when MMA got legalized in New York last week?
Oh man, everybody was stoked, man. Everybody was really, really happy, and everybody was excited. People knew what was going on play by play. That's how involved a lot of the fighters were in it. You know what I mean? And I think that it's a great thing that it happened, and I'm personally really excited. I'd love to be able to fight in New York, and now that it's back, there's no reason for me not to. So that's a dream come true, and I'm sure it will for a lot of other fighters down the local.
Yes, and I believe it's a dream of mine to see you fight at Madison Square Garden, so hopefully that's in the future.
Definitely, man, definitely.
All right. Well, David, thank you so much for getting together with me for this interview tonight, and best of luck come April 2nd at World Series of Fighting 30.
Got it, man. Thanks a lot.